Welcome back to Project Scientist, where I, your host, will be attempting to become an independent scientist through documenting my own journey. Now, in this video, we will be talking more about AI because that's what the news is about, but how AI is figuring out mathematics in fields where we have been trying to figure out the answers to the solutions for a very long time. Okay, in this article, it's figured out a Erdős quiz slash question, and AI has found that out. It seems as though people do not like the idea that AI is doing these things. I think it's a great thing because it pushes humanity forward and further along the journey of living and helping others. But it seems as though now people want guardrails for these exact things. I don't know what the problem is or the issue, but we're just gonna read the article and see where the problem is, if there is an actual problem. If you're new here, please follow the podcast, okay? Follow the YouTube channel. As you can tell, it's on the YouTube. And yeah, let's just go ahead and make this into an interesting read. Sweet. Alright, the problem here is that it says AI cracked an Erdős math problem. Sorry, not Erdős, Erdős. Now experts want guardrails. Alright? Should be an interesting read. The model disproved a famous conjecture, raising questions about trust, credit, and access. Okay, think about placing dots on a flat surface. You want as many pairs as possible to be separated by the same distance. For any amount of dots, what is the greatest possible number of pairs that can be exactly that far apart? The question, what mathematicians call the unit distance problem, seems simple. The answer is tricky. 80 years ago, in 1946, the famous mathematician Paul Erdős proposed what he thought was the answer, but no one had been able to prove or disprove his conjecture, at least not until now. So, if 80 years has gone by, not one single person or professional has found out the true answer, well, I think we're going to find out if maybe he was right or not, or if the AI just corrected him and it's like he's wrong. But this is interesting in general because it allows us to know how much of an information in terms of now that we've gotten right and that we've gotten wrong. Remember, the amount of data that AI uses is a lot, is vastly amount. It's probably too much for us to even try and think of at once or even as a group. We need AI, we need machines to like collect these data and make an actual algorithmic precise answer. So I think it's good in general, but we'll read on. Researchers at OpenAI gave an AI model Erdős conjecture and walked away. When they returned, they discovered a breakthrough. The model had disproved the conjecture in a mathematical proof posted May 20 on OpenAI.com. So even though no one could have actually, disprove or prove 80 years ago, even up to now, I guess now we've got our final answer. Erdős was wrong. It's a beautiful piece of mathematics that has been discovered, says Melanie Matchett of Harvard University, who contributed remarks to an accompanying paper in which outside experts reviewed the AI's result. The discovery bolsters hopes that AI can contribute to scientific understanding, but the AI proof relied on perseverance rather than creative insight and has raised concerns about how mathematics will be done going forward. On June 2nd, a group of experts published a declaration calling for tight guardrails around AI in mathematical research. As of June 5th, the declaration has 1,590 signatures. First off, what do they mean by a declaration calling for tight guardrails? What are the guardrails they're trying to guard? Because this in of itself is amazing. Are you trying to say you want more scientists to figure out more maths, but you don't want AI to do it, so you want to guard problems that's going to last for 80 years? Like, come on, man, let's really use our brains here. I know glory and ego wants to be the forefront of discoveries, but come on, let's actually do stuff for the humanity of the world and not think about ourselves and rewards and so on and so forth. A breakthrough for math, but maybe not for AI. The AI model that produced this result isn't publicly available yet. So OpenAI is ChatGPT and all that stuff. So it's definitely not 5.5 on the extra high tier. So if you've got that, don't think that's what they used. But OpenAI says it is a general purpose large language model trained for reasoning. It did not use any math specific tools or software. and we didn't guide the model in any particular way, says OpenAI researcher Sebastian Bulbeck. The original prompt, composed by AI, described the conjecture and instructed the model that a complete solution must either prove or disprove it. Mathematicians had believed the conjecture was true, yet the model tried to disprove it instead. I'm a bit puzzled here because it said that there was no actual answer for 80 years. So I don't know why mathematicians believed the conjecture was true. So then how many things that's informationally out there that we as citizens, normal citizens, think is true when it's not really true? Is gravity really 9.8? Do you know what I'm saying? Like what's going on? Do you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Yet the model tried to prove it instead. Wood sees the result as a breakthrough for mathematics. The AI came up with a counterexample using tools from two of the oldest and most foundational mathematical fields, algebra and number theory. It seems that these areas shouldn't have anything to do with this geometry question. Wood says, but the result, in quotations, shows that tools from one part of mathematics can be applied really fruitfully in this other area of mathematics. She thinks this result will inspire mathematicians to think of new ways to apply those same tools. I fully agree. I think it should. She's not convinced, however, that this is a breakthrough in artificial intelligence. When she read the solution, it seemed to her that the latest publicly available AI models could have come up with it, but they didn't. Do you know what I'm saying? In fact, one researcher posted on X that he had reproduced the proof using a publicly available model. Okay, fair enough. Let's see what it is. Mathematician Thomas Bloom of the University of Manchester in England had a similar reaction. He noted in the paper from outside experts on the achievement that it would have been truly incredible if the AI managed to prove the conjecture, as that kind of solution would require creative insight. I get their point in terms of creativity and all that stuff with the AI, but AI is made up of information that humans put into it. It's an actual neuron that's learning. Do you know what I'm saying? Maybe when we get to a point where we start implementing a bit of biology into the AI, where it has its own neurons, where it can think for itself, maybe its actual own brain, donated or grown by someone else or something, or grown in a lab, then maybe we can start saying, yeah, it's got its own personality, blah, 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 blah. But what do they want from this AI, bro? It's already disproved that it's a win for mathematics in general in the STEM field. I mean, I guess you can always want more, but I guess at the same time, you can always want less. Bobet concedes that this proof isn't exactly the spark of genius that we see sometimes in mathematics. AI still struggles to make leaps of discovery, but the tech can patiently slog through a huge number of unlikely strategies. Who will check AI's work? Still, as the declaration calling for guardrails notes, AI technology also threatens our ability to produce responsible, verifiable, and ethical mathematics. For one thing, AI's reasoning can be unreliable. In this case, the AI model's proof happened to be relatively easy for a human expert to verify. Look at that, get a load of these loads. Bloom says, but he has seen people on the internet who claim they have a solution to some open problem. These people have used AI to generate hundreds of pages of math that they can't understand or even read. Lol. Fair enough. That's why you want to take those people seriously. It could be right. It could be nonsense. Who's going to be able to check this? Bloom says. If mathematicians knew the probability that an AI-generated proof was correct, that would help. But as Wood notes, OpenAI does not share all the times their internal model failed to solve an open problem in math, or even worse, produced an incorrect solution which flawed reasoning. OpenAI's Bubek says that the team ran their prompt on the Erdős conjecture through the same model multiple times, and it produced the correct solution in 50% of those trials. So his colleague Li Jie Shen says that the new model is better than the current models at generating and I cannot solve it response when it runs into difficulty on a problem, but data to support these claims have not been released or peer reviewed. And OpenAI will not reveal how much time the model spent working on its solution. Of course they wouldn't. It's a big ass flipping company that really cares about their own marketing and public looks. So they have to keep the inworks within the company so that it makes people want to spend more money. Don't get me wrong, AI is a very good thing and I appreciate it. It's helped me out a lot in certain things. But at the same time, do you really think they're going to give their secret to the sauce? Nah. LLMs have read all the papers. They have... Wood, Bloom, and those who signed the declaration have other concerns too. Right now, AI generates mathematical reasoning without showing what work inspired the ideas. That clashes with mathematicians' standard practice of giving credit to the work that inspired a breakthrough. LLMs have read all the papers, they have read all the commentary and notes, and everything that's online. It's not clear that there's a way for AI to reasonably attribute the source of the ideas, Wood says. Access is another concern. Bloom says if the most powerful tools are expensive and private, which is true, which I don't agree on. I need to get my hands on private stuff. I still want to try Fable. Do you know what I mean? Fable is amazing. Apparently, I didn't get to use it. When I tried to use it, I used it like after they like privatized it and like restricted it. So yeah, mathematics could become less open and democratic, and some people may question why they should learn math at all. He says. Very true. Wood Bloom and some other mathematicians are cautiously optimistic. However, I do think AI is going to become an indispensable tool in mathematics, Wood says. I have no problem with what Wood said, or Bubek, or Liching. Do you know what I mean? Like, they all got their own concerns of this serious AI situation matter, and I do agree with them 50-50. You know, as a citizen, I agree. I want to be able to use the models that are powerful enough for me to be able to not have to hire, I don't know, a professional in the field in quotation marks that has worked all their life to make this product in terms of coding. But at the same time, I also want to learn coding, which is the field I'm in for astrophysics. So I'm going to have to learn it too. But my point is basically with AI, it's allowed me to implement and supplement the amount of work and the amount I need to create what I want. So in terms of the mathematics, especially as the years go on, there's a real stress slash limitation in terms of how much people are going to want to learn because they have an AI, artificial intelligence, that does everything for them. You know, who knows what someone's doing in the back of their room or in their environment where they're creating something very dangerous, or they're using that danger to find information that can be leveraged in a very bad way. Do you know what I mean? I mean, it's always gonna happen. There's always good and bad things in life, but we gotta look at the good and probably stretch our horizon as to how much good we can get from that. You know, finding an answer to disproving Erdős's problem is a great leap of success and a great thing. Even though they said that they get the answers like 50%, I mean, that's just 50% of continuous research that needs to be done for it to reach 100%. I don't believe anything is 100%, but obviously, the closer the percentage, the higher the success rate, the more of a reason to believe that AI has got the right and correct data. I think the whole point is that we need to all go back to the basics of learning the STEM field, okay, learning our subjects to the point that we have experts and multiple experts, okay, not people who are doing jobs that, you know, are necessarily feeding into the environment, you know. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with not wanting to be anything more, or what you're doing isn't more or even enough, because it is enough. I'm just saying in terms of technology like AI, we need people, especially a vast amount of people, to be able to check the work that AI produce as a result, so that we can use as humans to benefit our lives and others' lives and the future that comes after us. So yeah, it's been Mr. Project Scientist, and I hope you guys have a good one. Okay, don't forget to follow the podcast, subscribe to the YouTube channel, and look out for more content within the field of my personal journey in documenting on how far I am willing to become a scientist. Take care and peace.